Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the end of Season 2 of our F1 2020 My Team Career Mode, where today we're here back for our season review. Yes, kind of a bit of tradition on the channel. We like to make a season review, obviously have a bit of a look back, a recap on how obviously the last season went. And a big thank you to you guys as well for all the insane support over the course of this game. It's really just been mind-blowing so far. Just everyone, everyone that's viewed, liked, commented, become a channel member, and even just sort of watch the videos as well. But yeah, today though we're here back for our season review, and what an up and down season it's been. We saw some very different storylines over the course of the year. We sort of saw the Mercedes dominance at the beginning, then we had a little bit of a streak of our own, then we saw a bit of a weird midfield mashup in the mid-season. We saw a little bit of a turnaround of form again, and then towards the end of the year, just 212 Motorsports on top of the world. And yeah, obviously at the end of the day though, we were able to wrap up the Drivers and Constructors World Championship. It was a fantastic turnaround of form. Obviously we only led the Constructors after Abu Dhabi. That was just absolutely insane to even think about there as well. But yeah, first place in the Drivers' Championship as well for ourselves after we went on a 3-race win streak at the end of the season. Now, you've got to finish it on a high as well. But yeah, really did enjoy it over the course of the year. And I mean, that consistency in the early races when we didn't have a car that was capable of winning. Obviously, 5th place at Australia, 2nd at Bahrain and China, as well as obviously another 5th place at the Spanish Grand Prix. If you exclude our 3 dodgy results even, I should say, over the course of the year, obviously Vietnam, we made a big strategy blunder. Not the Danish Grand Prix, the Netherlands Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix. Obviously, we had that big crash after taking a bit of a risk with the car setup. And then the British Grand Prix, where the AI just seemed to always be on another level. I mean, yeah, we were top 6 every single race. And even then, the Italian Grand Prix, where we came 6th, obviously that was after a penalty, where we would have won that race. So really, yeah, we had 3 5th places, Australia, Spain, and Canada. And then apart from that, we were basically podium material every other race of the year, bar Austria and the US Grand Prix as well. So it does go to show just how overpowered our car was once we finally got the ball rolling there. 7 race victories over the course of the year, another 6 podiums, I think, with another 5 second places and a 3rd place at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We were, on the podium a fair few times over the course of the year there, and that consistency really did allow us to take home the World Championship when all is said and done. But another man, the one man that was able to give us a big run for our money over the course of the year was in fact Valtteri Bottas, excluding the Bahrain Grand Prix. Again, he was always in the points. I mean, he had an 8th place at Singapore after a bit of a strategy blunder, and a 7th place at France, again down to a strategy blunder. But apart from that, he was top 4, top 5 material every race weekend over the entirety of the season. Even after Mercedes didn't have the quickest car at the latter stages of the year, he was still able to get a podium pretty much every other time he stepped into that car from Belgium onwards to the end of the year there. But yeah, 3 wins over the course of the year. His final win at the Spanish Grand Prix. Has anyone ever just won only in the first 6 races and still won within the title battle in sort of upwards of a 20-race season? I don't think it's ever happened before in Formula 1, and this was sort of the story of the year there. After the first few races, Mercedes really overpowered. I mean, they took 4 wins on the trot. It was only Sebastian Vettel that was able to stop them, and then obviously Bottas winning once again at the Spanish Grand Prix. I thought it was sort of just normality resumed once again before we were able to get into the swing of things from Monaco onwards. That weekend was sort of the turning point for our season, where I knew we had a car capable of race victories there. But yeah, Hamilton, I mean, he was the only other one, obviously, after Spain that was able to get a win for Mercedes. Obviously, after the summer break, they still, potentially for a couple of weeks, looked like the team to beat. Obviously, that win at Belgium with the fastest lap and then another win at the Italian Grand Prix, despite, the fact we were rather quick and probably, robbed of that race weekend's result as well there. And after that, once we got to Singapore, 2 wins for George, a win for myself at Japan, another win for George at the US Grand Prix, and then 3 more wins for ourselves at the end of the season. 7 in a row for our team, obviously, as we head to Australia. I'm sure, we're probably going to be looking to try and make it 8 as well there. But Hamilton, had he not had 2 DNFs and then 2 14th places at the end of the season as well there at USA and Brazil, he probably could have challenged his teammate. He had a 16th place at Hungary after another late race issue as well there. So he really probably should have been able to challenge Bottas had he not taken the brunt of Mercedes' bad luck over the entirety of the year there. And yeah, George Russell, I definitely feel he probably could have had Hamilton had he just sort of got his act together in the opening few races. You know, he just didn't quite seem to be able to get the grips with the car in the opening 3 races. Obviously, China was a bit of a turning point for him, and then he got a few more points finishes there. Monaco, again, I think he had obviously, that was the one where we actually went into each other, I think, towards the midway stage of the year there. And then another few rough results for him after we were able to pick up race victories, 14th and 11th, whilst we were getting dubs. It was really not the way we wanted it to see. Austria, he got back on the board. Britain, he got his first podium in Formula 1, and then after that, really, George never looked back, and I was so proud of the turnaround we saw from him in the second half of the season there. He went from never being a race winner to winning 4 races in 6, which does go to show just how quick he was there, and another 3 second places behind ourselves over the last few rounds of the year. Yeah, George, I definitely feel like he's going to be a good rival as we head into Season 3. It could be the tale of sort of us versus George Russell in Formula 1 as well. And obviously that means that British drivers now have still won every season since 2014, obviously excluding 2016, where Nico Rosberg was able to claim that World Championship as well there. And then we move on to P5 overall. Sebastian Vettel, in his final F1 swan song, he has announced his retirement from the sport. Obviously, he did a fantastic job, and it was one of those things that actually a few of you commented on in yesterday's video. The fact that he was able to come back from 3 DNFs in the first 4 races. Obviously, he got that podium at Vietnam, showing the car had good pace. Got that win at the Dutch Grand Prix, the first man to stop Mercedes' run of form there. And a 21st at Monaco, a 15th at Britain, and then a 16th at Brazil. But apart from that, he was once again very quick throughout the entirety of the year. They had another couple of rough results. France and UAE obviously stick out to me at the end of the season. But yeah, fantastic job by Seb. Obviously, he was able to outscore his teammate Verstappen at the end of the season. I mean, Max, yeah, had an 11th and a DNF in the final 2 races as well, which really did cost him able to fight for a few more points. But yeah, when you look over the course of the season, I would argue Seb was the better driver for Ferrari as well. There, he was able to get, they were able to both get 1 win apiece by the midway stage of the season. After the Austrian Grand Prix, I thought maybe this is the turnaround, the redemption for Ferrari. But yeah, never quite came to fruition. They sort of fell into the Red Bull slot for Formula 1 this season. We sort of took their place as the team that can challenge Mercedes, and yeah, Ferrari sort of took Red Bull's spot as the team that's sort of there or thereabouts. And yeah, Red Bull kind of took our spot as a team that was really just a mid-pack car that couldn't really do a lot over the course of the year there. Obviously, Sergio Perez as well, taking home his first ever Formula 1 victory, 4 podiums over the course of the year to finish best of the rest there. Himself, Esteban Ocon and Charles Leclerc, really the standout drivers from the midfield. Obviously, Esteban Ocon picking up his only podium of the year and his first ever Formula 1 win at the British Grand Prix, as well as Charles Leclerc, that podium at the Bahrain Grand Prix early on in the season, and then he pretty much seemed to be in the points 1 week, outside the top 10 in the next, but consistency has been key over the entirety of the year. That 4th place at Baku, 6th at Canada, 8th at France, 7th at Austria, just so many good point scoring positions over the entirety of the year there. And yeah, those 3 guys certainly each deserved best of the rest. It was just the case that Racing Point seemed to have the best car of the midfield there. A big drop back to Lance Stroll, and you can see Danny Kvyat having a great season out as well with AlphaTauri. They're getting a podium at the Chinese Grand Prix. Both McLaren's, Carlos Sainz actually able to get 2 podiums over the course of the year there, back at Monaco and Brazil there, with Lando Norris picking up a podium at the French Grand Prix as well there, with Raikkonen getting a 2nd place as well, obviously, at France. Both of those guys had a fantastic day out there, finishing just behind ourselves. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, really not a good season for him. You know, he was sort of hoping for that resurgence with Red Bull. Never really did happen. 46 points to Alex Albon's 34. Yeah, really just a season to forget for the pair of them there as well. Then we got Gasly, 3 fastest laps, and that was about it over the course of the year. He scored points on 3 occasions, a 7th and then 2 8th finishes around at the sort of early to mid stage of the year there. But yeah, really just a season not to write home about for Pierre there. Magnussen got a 4th place at Monaco, and that was it. Really, Haas, yeah, never had a car that was capable of points. He just got very lucky that weekend. And the same can be said for Nobuharu Matsushita. Got that 6th place at Azerbaijan, but apart from that, again, nothing really to write home about after an 11th place at the Australian Grand Prix. I thought maybe he was going to be a good driver this season, obviously able to outfinish Charles Leclerc in that opening race. But 8 points to Charles Leclerc's 95 really does go show the difference between those two drivers there. Didn't have as torrid a season as Nick de Vries, though, down on nil points when all is said and done. A best result of 12th place from Hungary, and then both Williams drivers again. Canada was their best result. Nicholas Latifi 12th, Jordan King in 13th. Obviously our ex-teammate, I should say. Yeah, we're certainly not regretting getting rid of him as well there. But yeah, how many drivers, sorry, got a podium over the course of the year? 8 different race winners. Obviously both, ourselves, both Mercedes, both Ferraris, Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon there. You can see Charles Leclerc 9, Danny Kvyat 10, Sainz 11, Lando Norris 12, and Kimi Raikkonen 13 podium finishes over the course of the year there. So over half the grid were able to get a podium over the course of this season. A fantastic job done by absolutely everyone there. And when you consider the fact Daniel Ricciardo obviously has already had a podium in Formula 1, as well as Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen there. Really, the only drivers yet to get a Formula 1 podium are Alex Albon and Matsushita and Nick de Vries are both Williams, if I'm not mistaken. They are the only drivers left in Formula 1. Obviously, when you look down our timeline, they're yet to get a podium in the sport. So maybe, I'll be honest, those guys, apart from Albon, if Red Bull get a bit of a resurgence, they could all be looking at podiums as well, hopefully in the future of the sport. But yeah, a big, big thank you to all of you, those of you that have continued to support and enjoy this series. Like I said, the will now not be daily uploads anymore. We're going to be just dropping it back ever so slightly. You know, I don't want to sort of have to feel pressured into trying to make a video each and every single day. But yeah, we will be back. My aim is to get the new Season 3 sort of car and driver transfer news out on Friday. Then we will have the Australian Grand Prix Saturday and Bahrain on Sunday as well. But between now and then, we're going to have a bit of a look at F1 Fantasy. We're going to try and get another episode out of the McLaren RTG as well. But yeah, like I said, a big, big thank you to all of you for the continued support. And yeah, we will hopefully be back very, very soon, ready for Season 3. Let's see if we can go back to back. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.